Yo, fuck it look like.
What it
My
do?
name, it's not important. But what's more important is what the fuck we tried to tell y'all last season. In 2021, it was a year of the release, letting go of our emotional restraints and factors that have harnessed our productivity to accomplish the things we were set out to do. Now that we have acknowledged these errors, this is where we move forward in faith and in truth, asserting ourselves with the confidence and the realization of our unique gifts and forging ourselves into this untapped potential, thus attaining the season of our prime. So y'all gotta understand this if you don't understand anything else. That this shit right here, it's your moment. So you gotta make the shit mean something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I still truly believe that the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. Because as you can see, we're truly beyond that shit right now. So without further ado, I'm gonna shut the fuck up and we're gonna double up to the season, man. TKC2, baby. Welcome.
You now in tune to the. You now in tune to the. You now in tune to the. You now in tune to the count. Hold up, you now in tune to the. You now in tune to the count. Hold up, you now in tune to the. You now in tune to the council. Hold up, you now in tune to the. You now in tune to the. You now in tune to the council.
Yes, sir. The King's Council. That's for you and your mom. We back at it, y'all.
What up, bitch?
That boy outside.
We outside, nigga. Let's go. Let's go.
Sounding good, looking good, checking off good. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Episode 5. This is y'all, man. Fresh off the press. You heard me? The King's Council got the special guest in the building. You know, we talking about music here, so you gotta bring in Big Bruh, Big Body, Bean. You heard me?
Motherfucking noise.
Hey. Yeah.
Right.
In here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's Brody, right? It's Brody, man. For real. So, anytime we talking music, we gotta bring Brody through. You know what I'm saying? He up there for us on the King's Council. Make sure y'all log in online, man, at www.thekingscouncil.com. You know what I'm saying? Tune into the YouTube, The King's Council, Instagram, The Young King's Council, as well as, you know what I'm saying, all our places and other avenues at Council Kings, Twitter, Facebook, King's Council. So, man, make sure y'all get LinkedIn, subscribe, share, like, all that you can, man. We love all the feedback we've getting, continuously doing it with, you know what I'm saying. We're going to keep on pressing on. Your boy Deucey Deuce.
It's your boy Boulevard motherfucking PM. The problem, we back, nigga.
We outside, nigga. Come on.
We outside and it feels so good. You heard me?
It really does, man.
For real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, but like you said, we're going to talk about music today, man. Music and the symbolism behind it, because you know there's a lot of it in today's music, what everything means, always has been, you know what I'm saying, from our artistic perspective. But yeah, we're gonna get into the thicker things. A lot of things been coming up musically wise that's been setting standards and been showing out lately. So niggas gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. You know what I mean? You know, make sure y'all tune into thekingscouncil.com for more exclusive episodes and things like this. You know what I'm saying? That you can't get on the YouTube page, you can't get on the Instagram, can't get on the Facebook. You know what I mean? So you gotta tune in to thekingscouncil.com. You heard? For sure. You know what I mean? What we talking about today here, man? Get them here on today's agenda, just so they know what's happening.
Bro, what we talking about today, man? We talking about music and symbolism. One, creating or how music creates the atmospheres that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna break it down to the politics of the rap, the age of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna go down just a little bit more into the roles in hip hop. Cause I think, you know, a lot of people need to understand, like, you know, where the fuck they stand in the shit and what the hell they can do to make it better.
Right.
So we all about evolving here, baby.
Right. Understand it?
So,
Yeah, well shoot, man. Let's take them away.
let's take them away, man. Shit. All we need What happened recently in music, real quick?
Well, a lot of things been dropping.
Current
you know
events.
what I'm saying? Current event wise, a couple of big heavy hitters been taking the summer by storm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Noticeably Kendrick with his album. Some more riding the Big Steppers.
Shout out to K Dot, man. Definitely.
Yeah. A few others that hit number one for the first time this year, like Lil Durk and his 7220 album.
Durky Yo.
You know what I mean? And then there's others that are, fresh off the press, like Jack Harlow and a couple of other, up and coming artists.
Shout out to Jen now, man, definitely.
So, it's definitely different to see who's in hip hop now, especially when we grew up listening to Icon and so many before us. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be in detail who's who now, especially as music is evolving and becoming so different as far as what is what, and the genres are mingling and mixing in between, and there's so many category A, category B of these things now. You know what I mean? That's what now it seems like has been setting the tone or creating atmosphere. Is of course hip hop, but the evolution of it continuously as a genre and as a movement. You know what I mean? Because we gotta understand where it started from and to think where it is at now. I mean, of course, we know the entertainers have pushed it a little bit differently to more masses, but we talking about real, the real ones who upstanding and holding the culture together. It's good to see, man. For real.
Overall, it is good to see, truly, man. I gotta say this one thing though, cause I know y'all thinking about the same shit. Aubrey motherfucking Graham, nigga, what the fuck were you doing, my dude?
What you talking about, Drake, John?
Yeah.
It's not. It's different, man. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what that was a good topic to talk about. Like that album is the way that the atmosphere was created off of that. People thought it was gonna be another typical Drake album.
Right. Now, Irv Gotti specified something where a lot of people are, kind of left and right about, and I feel some type of way in the regards where I understand exactly what he was saying. He was like, well, because Drake has did the shit that he did, and remember, Drake is the head guy when you think hip hop right now, in a sense. Like, and with that, there's a responsibility.
I wouldn't say that.
No?
I wouldn't say he's a leader in hip hop. I would not say that. I would say it's more or less like a three-way or three-headed monster between him, Kendrick, and Cole.
I understand that.
And because necessarily some people wouldn't consider Drake as a hip hop artist.
And that's true too. So I understand it completely. But I guess in the idea or the concept of that, I feel like this is where what Irv was trying to say was, if you have that responsibility and that goal, or not the goal, but if you have that responsibility and you know what your title is in that sense, it's like, all right, well, in order to move the culture forward, there has to be certain things that doesn't become compromised. Does that make sense?
Why do we feel like he has a responsibility to the state of hip hop?
Especially when he wasn't introduced that. I feel like depending on where you come from and your background of how you came into it, right? Like the ones before we knew when it first started, they had a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
It was a street message. It was
Right.
a liberation type of message, right? And then you saw that evolve into the single MC, because remember, it used to be groups. It used to be you had a group, and that's how y'all ran,
Right.
Records. That's how y'all got out there. Juice Crew, Bad Boy, all of these type of bigger, groups and stuff like that. Then it started emerging as the leading MC. So then you start seeing Biggie, Tupac, all of them.
Right.
I'm still lost as an artist on what is my responsibility to hip hop.
I think that we, as an artist, we hold, I guess, some type of foreground, like, in order to move forward, you gotta also understand from which you came. Like, when I think about Woodbridge or whatever like that, in a sense, and I know I'm talking local right now, but I think about all the guys that were out there that was doing all the shit to make a little motherfucker like me even believe in that. And so because of that, it's like, for wherever they came from with their shit, they moved it forward.
Right.
In that sense, like they had those foundations, those certain components that just don't ever get like chopped up.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so because of that, you understand that and you realize that because obviously it does something to you to make you want to be a part of that. And so it's like with that being stated, it's like you just don't lose certain, I guess, aspects of like I guess where I'm coming from with what Irv was saying was rap is not gonna be rap after a while.
But who we define that still.
That's true.
Yeah, as
I
fans.
get what you're
and
saying now,
as-
bro. I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
We define that.
We do
Like,
define
we
that.
as a consumer have always defined that.
No, that's a fact.
Because Africa Bambaataa, like you said, Juice Crew,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like all of those groups, right? It was a message because it worked for somebody. Let's not be, you know what I mean? Like let's not act like it ain't what it is. Like you do what's working.
Right. Right.
You understand?
No,
what I'm saying?
trust me.
It's
I mean,
always
that's
been
true.
that way. You did what all right, this crew was doing this, it worked for them. So what are you gonna do with your crew? You're gonna mimic that.
right. Right.
You're gonna say that you have your own twist because you're different people, but at the end of the day, you're still mimicking what was going on. And I feel like that plays to Irv's point with him being such a powerful and influential individual. With him doing this, he feels it's gonna cause for other artists to want to win in the same lane and do the same, and would then remove that DMX, Scarface aspect to the game.
Yes.
I understand where he's going, but however, at the end of the day, like those guys are still going to exist.
Yeah. I mean, the influences will always last
They're
forever.
still going to be there.
And-
Because, not to cut you off, brother.
Right. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But while you had those DMXs and those Scarfaces and things like that, you still had a Ja Rule. And he named Ja Rule as if Ja Rule was a gangster rapper. Come on, man. The nigga was singing to the bros.
No,
too.
for sure. No,
Heard,
And you got
but like
50
you
coming
said,
in, getting
Yeah,
popped
50
nine times,
definitely, yeah.
and literally mimic the same style. And he began to talk to the bros.
right.
You feel me?
Right.
But he had a real solidified street background. So again, you do what works.
Yeah. No, for sure. But as
Makes
an artist, you understand too that you hold like a creed, like a almost like a bloodline type
You
of.
gotta stop that though.
You know,
have to stop that. No, because we're human at the end of
No,
the day.
for sure, we human.
So today
I
I'm
ain't
going
saying.
to speak about. Today I might want to speak about. Excuse my French. I might want to speak about big booty bitches today. You feel me?
Word,
But-
bless
and
'em.
then tomorrow,
Oh,
I
yeah,
may
always
wanna
nah.
tell her to value herself more because I see the road that she's going down, and she has a daughter. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make me a hypocrite? No.
No, that
That's-
ain't.
So at the end of the day, to say that it is my responsibility to deliver a certain message or something like that, to me is false because at the end of the day, right, I can only give you what I've lived through, seen, touched, smelled, tasted. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's all I can give you. So the responsibility is only to be true to myself at the end of the day.
No, fact.
No,
You know
that
what I mean?
No,
makes
definitely.
sense.
That's like on our next joint. The politics of rap to me. What age group and all of that you should be to keep doing this or doing it, or you should be, a cap to this and all that. That's bullshit to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? To me, that's bogus. That's bogus as hell. Because when they started in this, niggas was not young as hell.
No.
Oh,
No.
they just look young.
Yeah.
They were,
Right.
they were much older than people gave them credit for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you had your exceptions like your LLs that were like teenagers for real, like
Right.
$1 million 19.
Roxanne, Shantae, and
You had those, you know what I mean? But for the most part, they came up under someone that was far older than them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Their introduction to this was from someone older than them.
and watching that.
You know, whether they played the background and you didn't know about them, or they were just known in their areas, and then they put the younger person on. You feel what I'm saying? Because subconsciously, you always feel like the younger person can grab the attention of the younger people. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that you play into.
Nah, facts.
You know, but however, like there is no wisdom without experience. There is no experience without time.
That's a
Time
fact.
is nothing but age.
Yep.
Mm.
That's
You
a
know what
fact.
I'm saying? So
Makes
it's like,
sense.
you know, you can't be a 22-year-old is not gonna rap the same as a 35-year-old.
No.
No, they got totally two different
You know what I mean?
worlds.
They
to
can
talk
rap about the same exact subject, and that shit will be completely different.
Yeah.
Just, emotional intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? Just time to process those things. Like the 35-year-old could have went through that at 22. The 22-year-old is going through it at 22.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got damn over 10 plus years of sitting on that thought. It might reach every 6 for the last 5 years of your life.
Right.
For the first 10, you know what I mean? You could have been thinking about that shit every single day.
It sure does.
You dig what I'm saying? So,
Yes,
so,
sir.
so think about it. It's like playing basketball,
Yep.
playing any sport. If you're doing it every day,
Every day.
you're going to get better.
But
You still might not be as good as the nigga across the street from you, but you're going to get better within your game.
But the whole problem now is you got this these entertainers more than you have the real artists. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? And that's where it's taking the storm, of course, the consumer's head and eye, because as long as it sounds good to them, they'll buy the music all damn
That's all
day.
they ever wanted was for it to sound good, because it speaks to what we was symbolism and energy of music.
Exactly.
The space that it creates. That's all the consumer ever wanted, was the space that it creates. You feel me? Because fucking Johnny Charleston, you know what I'm saying, from Massachusetts, doesn't know what the fuck a blood in the crib is.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you hear, Hoover rapping and he's like, oh, what the hell is this? Like, that's a different energy. He's now a Crip. He is now a Hoover. You feel what I'm saying? If he's from Massachusetts, like, you feel me? You know what I mean? He's got
No, but that's how you're not lying.
That's how that shit goes.
That's how it puts the mindset of somebody into. You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta be careful with as far as knowing who's who, being around who's who, because they're trying to limit who cannot do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Based off of just that monetization part alone. You know what I mean? And
cater to certain things.
oh yeah,
on purpose.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
They cater certain things on purpose. These algorithms are not designed for absolutely no reason. They're designed for a reason. They are
Right.
designed to restrict certain content, allow the free flow of other content.
Exactly. And that's how they get their bread. You know what I mean? And as sad as it is, and you see it, you know what I mean, it's corrupting the young one's mind more and more. But that's why that's where that responsibility part. That's
See,
what I
now
was saying. coming
that part
into.
is where it
See
really
what I
lies.
mean?
I don't really necessarily take the stance of Irv Gotti and say someone like a Drake has a certain responsibility to keep it in a certain space or a certain feel or a certain energy. No, that's not the part I agree with. You feel what I'm saying? However, like, I still don't feel like if he wants to get up there and rap about purple dogs and little thongs, like, he can do so, even being a top tier nigga. Because at the end of the day, if the consumers be like, we not listening to that, he is no longer the top tier nigga. Am I correct?
No,
I'm just being real.
no, that's a fact.
You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
They gonna show that shit.
So
but-
who is the real responsibility holder?
The consumer at that point in time.
You feel me?
No.
It's not the artist. It's always been the consumer's responsibility.
Oh, sure.
Because we dictate.
That makes sense. I see where you're coming from. I get you.
That's a fact.
Think about it. You'll take a nigga like Kendrick, who is phenomenal, right? And I'm sadly, I listen to music and I understand it and I respect it because I'm an artist as well. So I know what it takes to rap. And that's exactly what they are. But it ain't something I'm popping in the stereo. Not. However, hey, his shit don't last in our the way we would expect it to or want it to as artists. As consumers, if that's not what you're trying to ride to every day, you could give a fuck about it. Same thing with Cole, right? Why are these people considered what they are considered to what we love to do? If we're going by numbers, a lot of them niggas be beat out. Cole, I'm not into this last go. Saying did numbers. Cole used to do his numbers too, and Drake definitely did his numbers. So if we thinking on that, then by far those are your three front runners always have been as far as the gap in the game. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if we really break it down to what's being played on the street levels, though, I couldn't tell you if you run into the city that you're gonna hear a nigga playing Drake in Kenilworth.
Yeah, nah, I get what you're saying.
They're
Yeah,
not playing Kendrick. They're not. Playing
You know what?
right. Nah, I get what you're saying.
He just opened my eyes to a lot of fucking things.
But
Go ahead.
Well, now I was gonna say that's the cultural shift that you see in that, and the politics will move with that, because they'll say, all right, well, because the youngins aren't feeling that music, then this is where we push everything towards. You know what I mean? But those other ones, like I said, that are priceless, timeless, that last forever. You know what I'm saying? So no matter where they go, because of where they started and the foundation that they laid down. You know what I'm saying? Those are, like we said, all right, Kendrick, Cole, and Jay are probably, the ones right now holding it down, right? All right. But then you got those who are like above them in elite status, a god type of status. No matter whenever they drop, they guaranteed to have the culture on their back. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of pull that more or less raincoat.
And you gotta add Dirk and Baby to that.
Well, yeah, no, for sure.
Right, and
I'm
see,
not
that's
saying that. That's why I said
that's
that
what I
as
was
the new school. Yes, yeah,
That's the
right. As
point.
the new
Not even
school.
as a new school.
that's the
Because
point I was going to
there's
make.
no separation. But that's what I keep saying. We want to continue to separate it.
Right.
There is no separation.
There's no that's the point where you was getting at, that you opened my eyes to. 'Cause I just thought about this. Like, do we consider them top 10 because of their numbers, or because they're so familiar because we can identify with them closely, compared to, let's say, a person, like you said, let's say Massachusetts Johnny, he can't really identify with someone of a Crip status per se. So you talking to the nigga next door. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think of those three per se, not taking anything away from them, but like,
Right.
you know, just the complex alone, it's like I
Right.
can identify with that. So
Yeah, John, you
that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some
It's deep,
shit.
man.
Because, like, here's the thing. 'Cause I remember someone said some shit like, I'll hear Future more on the streets or some shit like that, or I hear like Durkio or Little Baby, but then let's say we have Jay, you don't hear niggas really popping Jay.
No,
You talking about Z or you talking about Cole?
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
no, you don't.
No,
don't.
you don't hear nothing popping from him.
You
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no,
And
not
so that was
anymore.
like,
No,
what the
not
fuck?
anymore. No, right? Not
Holy
anymore.
Fuck.
Right? And then, but you gotta think, like you said, the times have changed. You know
We
what
put
I'm
them
saying?
there, man.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah, but see,
put
that's
them
why I said that's a
there. You
mind
feel
fuck
me?
now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
like, we
about
put
that.
them-
What
Why
the
do you think
fuck?
algorithms exist?
And going to our last one, right? Our last one is also too, then knowing your role in hip hop or whatever genre that you decide to go with to, right? Because you,
I don't even think that genres no more, bro. I think
Yeah,
they do
right.
They really do that shit for organizational.
well, I say that, and also too for networking purposes, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Because
I'm not going to the orchestra.
come on now.
No,
you know,
for sure.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
That's what I'm saying. You ain't going to no country music
Now,
if you ain't, you know, doing no country
though,
music.
if I'm a Quincy Jones type of individual, I'm going to the orchestra though.
Fact, back to being subjective, right? That's
You know
if
what
you
I'm
in there
saying?
those, but that's if you also too are
I
blessed
listen
enough
to country.
musically.
Yeah.
As if you blessed enough too, though. You know, if you blessed enough too to be that musically genius, you know, that's one thing also too is sharpening your skills and understanding that, you know,
That part of the responsibility is the part that I feel like should be talked about more. Taking the responsibility to really submerge yourself in the craft,
right,
elevate past what they say you are,
right,
or what the consumer says this is supposed to be, or what the consumer says what this is supposed to look like.
right.
That's that part of the responsibility. I feel like, it's still subjective. It depends on you as the artist.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's really
Yeah,
how
man.
appealing you are to
I
whoever's
feel like
out there. Like that's the main thing.
The only thing that is not subjective in the whole entire argument and discussion is that fans dictate.
The facts. No, for sure. I mean, but it's also too because it's based on certain things that are portrayed to make them, want to be attracted
Because,
to that.
like we said earlier, what do we chase? If it's working, that's what we chase.
No, yeah,
Like,
on the executive business level,
Yeah.
yes, I'm talking about on the consumer side though as
the
well.
same thing though.
No, we definitely say
Why did we niggas wear them big ass Balenciaga shoes, bro?
Right.
Can't too many niggas tell me the shit is really jig, bro.
Fuck no,
Can't
this shit
nobody
look
tell me, you
retarded.
feel me? Because the Dior runners is shitting on them.
Uh-huh.
You dig what I'm saying? Dior runners is shitting on them. Steve Madden just dropped a pair of Balenciagas that are smaller than the Balenciaga that look better than the Balenciaga. If a nigga step into the spot with some Steve Maddens on his feet, though, nigga will fries that.
No, for sure. I mean, it looked like money. That's what attracts money, right? No matter what. You know what I mean? No matter where you go. But also, too, there's certain things they do to make you to believe that this is what is supposed to be attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot. Because money.
Work.
Right.
It
But,
work.
right. Because we know that, but, then it goes back to the whatever glitters ain't always gold. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got diamonds and stuff and all of
No,
that.
and everything that glitter is gold. That's why I glitter. It's because it's gold. It's up to your ass.
It could be fool's gold.
You a fool. That's what I'm saying. And it's so soon.
This is why he's on this episode.
Yeah, what I mean, it could be. You got stainless steel. You think it's stainless steel? It could be platinum. No, I ain't saying.
Real. I
Right.
can tell your shit rocking. You see what I'm saying? Now, however, I might not have that.
Y'all
It's no
remember
good,
that
but
fake?
it don't look the same.
Y'all remember them When G Unit came out, I ain't gonna lie about
I
that
sold a
shit.
whole box of them shit
But
from
I-
Canal.
but like getting back to the roles, right? It's like knowing who, like which group or which type of artist you are to portray that, right? Because there's a lot of artists out there are more, free thinker artists. There are more neo soul type of rappers and things like that, but they stuck to that role. Because some people, to them, that's what looks like wealth. You know what I'm saying? That's what looks like riches. That's what looks like, seeing somebody
See, now we're
peaceful and
speaking. Now we're speaking again against themselves, right? Because if I'm in a state of enlightenment, if I'm in a state of self-exploration, right, I'm not trying to hear all that other shit to take what I got going on,
right.
because I now know what it does to my body, my mind, and my soul. You see what I'm saying? So again, it's the consumer, because if 20-year-old Brandon and 30-year-old Brandon listen to the same shit, but they get two different messages out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's all consumer based.
No, fact.
Has McDonald's ever stopped selling the Whopper?
No, because that's their number one thing.
No, that's what you believe, right? But I have. When was the last time you ordered a Big Mac? When was the last time you ordered a Big Mac?
Nigga, I ain't been to
That's my
McDonald's.
fucking point, bro.
Nigga, I ain't
That's
been to
what I'm
McDonald's in
saying.
fucking
But
15 years. It seems like.
yeah, I don't even need
But that's
McDonald's,
my
so that's what I
point.
mean. But no, and I get
Even
what
while
you're
you was
saying.
eating food, you may have had a Big Mac here and there.
Yeah, it wasn't no every.
Come
It
on,
wasn't
dog.
no.
Niggas chicken nugget ended up,
It was,
snack
it was
wrapped
always
up.
chicken
You
nuggets and it was always crispy chicken, John. That's
talk
it.
to me.
Chickens
You get what
all
I'm saying?
day,
But
right?
what you believe, if you were to look, is that this huge fucking sandwich is immaculate, and this is the standard of McDonald's.
No, right. That's
See
what.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but that's what I'm saying. They fit that role to make that look like
You know
that's
why?
the thing.
The consumer is going to consume the information that is given. You know what I tell the artists when they're in artist development? Don't worry about what you put out.
You did too.
I literally say this.
He tells
Give
me,
them what
yes.
the fuck they give them what the fuck you want to give them. Give them what the fuck you want to give them. Because
Nah,
whatever
really.
clicks is what's gonna click.
Yeah.
Once they click, you give them more of that. But give them whatever the fuck you want to give them. Because if they true and support what you do, they're gonna be true and support what you do. If you sit back and you worried about, all right, man, let me give them this kind of track, because you're gonna fry your brain.
Yeah.
You're never going to excel in your craft.
Yeah,
The consumer is going to take whatever the fuck you want them to have,
and they
whether
gonna
you
tell you.
popping or not. When you
They-
popping, it's even worse, because every artist has a run where they cannot be fucked with, and it don't matter what the fuck they put out or how they put it out. That shit is gonna go.
Right.
And Ross had his run, and I was listening to a couple Ross versions. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh no. Yeah, he was on.
And Ross is one of my favorite rappers.
No, for sure, and that's what I mean. It's like, all right, once you, I guess that's what I mean though too. Once you get to a certain level of success, or you get to a certain establishment, even as a local artist, or you coming up on your own terms, right? You get to a certain level where you know where things work. Of course, it is the consumer base, but you understand your role in that consumer base, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You understand, right? And that's what I mean as a producer. That's where first handling, hollering at our fellow artists and things like that. Because if you out there, you know what I mean, this is where we try to help out hand in hand. Because it's that's what it's about here at the King's Council. And when you understand that, like you as an artist, once you get to an establishment point where you say, all right, I know who I am with my music, and I understand who my fans are with my music, right? And who I have under my niche, right? Then you can understand where to go more or less with wherever you want to go to, whatever you want to do deals with, whoever you want to be around, things like that. Because everybody sees that. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's no, in this day and age especially, it's not like it was back when we was younger where you caught somebody in the newspaper every once in a while or a magazine every now and then or whatever. Now it's every day. You know what I'm saying? You every day.
Right up every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
They see you every day. You know what I'm saying? That's how they want to see you. So you fitting in that role. Some people don't know how to play it where they don't have to be there every day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because they understand that whenever they do push whatever, like you said, the fans go crazy for it. You know what I'm saying? It's exclusive time. You better get in when you fit in. And if you don't, you missed out on the craziest thing that happened of that time, right? But, back when we was coming up, it was, only a certain few were the top of the top. There was no, everybody was trying to do it. Don't get it twisted, but there was only a few that knew, right? Like Michael Jackson, you knew it was, Michael knew he was Michael. It was no debating that, right? Like Prince, he knew he was Prince. You know what I'm saying? There is no debating that. There was nobody else underneath him who was going to be there at that show. That was a Prince show. That was a Mike show. That was whoever's show, right? And that's where you get to knowing your role as an artist to say, all right, because I am not big headed, not egotistic or nothing like that. Just knowing, all right, I've solidified myself here in this genre, in this time, in this place, in this zone, right? And I say, all right, I'm gonna make sure that this is good enough, you know what I'm saying, to attract whatever setup I have business wise later down the road to trickle in more funds, to have things.
Compromising?
Do artists compromise?
I'm saying, is that a compromise?
That's what I'm saying. But that's the question. Then you got to say, all right, well, do artists compromise? You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
You have to.
If you're doing music business, you are going to compromise to a degree.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Solely to a
But you
degree.
have to accept the role in doing that, right? Because there are some artists, even in a group, that
Yeah,
don't. Yeah, you got to have to compromise in a group
That's
to
why I
let that.
say all the time, like we in the group, I don't have no pride when it comes to my partner. Your shoe untied, nigga. I might be on the headline, but I'm gonna bend down, tie your shoe if your hands full, bro.
Because that's real.
No pride.
No,
Yeah, I don't got
that's
no
real.
pride when it
You
comes to
should do that. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, if you want that back in return, not looking for it all wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what you do it for. You're doing it for the love and the kindness out of your own heart. But when you know what I'm saying, don't have those, you know, people around you, you trying to figure that out. Especially if you're young. You know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of it's about, man. It's just not knowing. You know what I mean? So even in the Bible, you can't be held responsible for what you don't know.
Come on, man.
That's
You know, I mean, most walks of life, you can't be held responsible for what
Very
you don't
true.
know. Yeah, how can you be judged on something you're ignorant to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
But
it's like,
it is on you if you don't come to that to find out. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
that's the whole thing about it. You know what I'm saying? So what's it called? We just, you know, making sure y'all understand that here at the King's Council, you know what I'm saying? Check your roles and keep those in line so that way you don't have to worry about who's who around you, what's what around you. And also try to push out that music that you know what I'm saying, striving for to hear, to grab onto, to learn something from. You know what I'm saying? Learn your role too as a consumer, because this role is as a consumer.
That's been my whole argument.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
So
Like
that
you
makes
said,
sense. I know what you're getting at now. Like, yeah, like this.
Know your role.
Know
as
what
a
your role in that
consumer.
sense.
yeah, know your role as a
Because
consumer.
you are truly empowered. You give the power to everything. Why does something go viral? Because a lot of consumers paid attention to it at a very fast rate.
Right.
That's what, you know, one of those common sense things I wanted people to realize and wake up to, because you got to think with the music. I see a lot of the millennium issue debate. You know, you got the oldie type of debate and all of that, and when you sit here and split up more or less the genres and the brackets of who's who in time and all of these generations, you actually get to miss out on the evolution of who's out here, man, and who's really doing it through those who came before, right? You know what I mean? We got to give credit where credit's due. Even if you don't give credit where credit's due, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, the consumer gonna push you to a level where you gonna sit here and feel like you did it different than anybody else, or than anybody on your side. So you gonna hold that with pride in your heart heavier than anybody.
Like you did it your way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, any artist always does. Anybody in any field, any occupation, you know what I'm saying? They gonna do. You got to figure out how to work in whatever field you decide to go into your way. You know what I'm saying?
When they appreciate what we appreciate.
For sure.
That's control.
But that's what I'm saying.
what I mean?
But that's where you got to remember to take control back for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you letting people dictate and say, oh, because I'm from this genre, I can't adapt to something better, or I can't evolve to something different, or I can't get with this type of sound because it's not where I came from. Yeah, it ruffled a lot of people's feathers.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
shouldn't ruffle no one's feathers, and I get what you're saying. And it wasn't that; it was like supposedly, oh my gosh, you know, we expecting him to, like, I know most people were like, yo, you know what? I expected this nigga to rap, and so he did something that y'all didn't expect. So everyone's gonna be like, you know what, man, this nigga's like he turned his back on us. But Drake has been,
But that's
exactly.
what. But that's what.
He's been
what I'm
doing this.
saying.
He's been doing this shit for
But that's what I'm saying. If you had a common sense to realize that through every artist, they've been doing certain and similar things the whole time.
Her comment effed me up. It fucked me up because it was like, you of all people should know. Like, you, Irv Gotti, should understand that you created somebody.
Yeah, with Job, right?
Come on,
yeah.
man, your whole label. Anyone that has real success on your label was not a fucking rapper.
That's true.
He was a melodic singing. She was singing as R&B.
Right, we know that.
You only had what? Two? You only had really two successful acts on Murder Inc.
Charlie was close.
Charlie who?
Charlie Baltimore.
Only had
Wasn't
like
and
2
then wasn't Joe on
features.
there with him for a minute, or Joe was old? I know
Joe
Joe.
was already Joe.
I know Joe was Joe,
Something.
but I mean, I know they was, back then everybody was running around together doing, yeah, you executive produce
Yeah.
this, yeah, you
Joe
executive
was
produce
Joe
that.
already.
But
Talk about Murder, and when you say Murder Inc., you think of 2 names:
of course,
Yeah.
of course,
Ashanti and
It's
Ja
Ashanti
Rule.
yeah,
and
of
Ja
course,
Rule.
You
hands
have an
down.
R&B act that's not rap. Then you have a rapper who's not rapping because Vinny Vici, in my Michigan's time, that's one of my favorite records of all time. Like I listen to that song forever. And, like that nigga raps in a way like that most niggas will never hear another nigga. That record right there, it speaks to me in different ways. However, once they found out what worked, quote unquote, they never went back to that. The
No,
last
for
time
sure.
Ja rapped.
No, for sure. And
That's
that's what I'm saying.
true.
It's
That's
just,
real
You
true.
dig me?
nah,
But
definitely.
he was supposed to be the gangster.
Yeah,
Yes, and he was.
yeah,
Yeah,
You dig what I'm
he was
saying?
supposed to
And
be.
then
yeah.
again, we say G Unit came out. 50 came out the gate with melodic.
Yeah.
Started with that. That's
You
how he
feel what I'm
was.
saying? He
Yeah,
came out the
but
gate.
that's how
Mixtape
that
series still
that's how
melodic.
that vibe was at that time. You see what I
So
mean?
what does
Like,
that create for someone like a Drake that comes out with maybe you the best first big single, right?
Right.
He has been this way the entire
oh yeah,
time.
Fucking
His
oh
time.
yeah.
beats were not hard.
Nah.
No, they weren't.
Mm-mm.
They were not nowhere near boom bap. They were nowhere near even that next transition of music out of the boom bap to your 90s and shit like that. Then in your late 90s, early 2000s, your Jay-Z's, your Rock Wilders, your Just Blazes, Kanye's and things like that. Your
Right,
simple heavy flips and shit like that.
right, right.
They weren't. That's not even boom bap.
No.
You feel what I'm saying? Your Jigga what? Jigga who? That's not boom bap,
Mm-mm.
right? So that
Nah,
was like that next phase of it. But you listen to someone like Aubrey, my nigga, he's been this guy the
the whole
entire time.
time. Yeah, and that's why I
Right.
don't understand.
Kanye's 808 and Heartbreaks.
But see, that's like Kanye. That's another one. It's a common sense. And so, like Kanye, people are like, oh, well, he switched up, right? He did
No.
that flip of the switch, and I'm like, where? You know what
Where?
I'm saying? To me, he's been like that the whole time, and especially once he did that twisted dark fantasy vibe issue he was going through. It was like, okay, everybody's like, all right. And then the Yeezus thing, I'm like, yeah, everybody's like, oh, well, he's tripping there, and I'm like, nah, bro, this is
No.
exactly everything that he
He's
said
been
he
the
was
entire
going to come
time.
out and be, and how he's been the whole time.
Consumers
I said,
fickle.
yeah, they fickle, but the real ones stayed with him. You know what I mean? The real ones knew, all right, yeah, you can do
Yeah,
this
why?
because
Because it
you
was
at
something
this
you
cap.
gravitated toward. You like that McDonald's burger. Like the way that the chicken sandwich tasted. That's why you go back. You feel what I'm saying? But if you got a chance to go to the crib and get Mom Dukes, you're gonna go to the crib and grab
Facts.
Mom
You
Dukes.
always gonna go for the high
You
quality
on the
thing.
road, you running around, I can't stop it, Mom. You gonna chop my head up. I ain't trying to hear that. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this crispy chicken. You feel me, with cheese and some mac sauce. You
Nah,
get what I'm saying? You're able to doctor it how you want to doctor it. That's all music is.
yeah,
It's taking and receiving it and doctoring it how you want to doctor
yep.
it so that it resonates with you.
But
Because
also,
we'll make excuses for the artists that we love. Because I went back and listened to a lot of Jay-Z singles and shit like that, and Jay was not rapping the way niggas give him the credit for rapping, bro.
no, I mean, he wasn't doing nothing crazy on certain tracks. We know
You
that,
know?
right? We know certain things are just fillers. You know what I mean? To get you, and as I said, to have common sense to see that as through any artist, right? All right, even from Jay to Nas to some of those one hit wonders, those who we thought was gonna come up. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's really having the common sense as a consumer, as a person, a part of this culture, to be like, all right, I gotta make sure, not because of who's around me, you know what I'm saying, my bumpers, but how it resonates, like you said, with me. You know what I mean? How does it connect with me on that level where I can be comfortable to play it, no matter where I'm at? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that because it's a reflection of me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But also to understand that when you're putting out that type of image of yourself, that reflection of you, and that's a symbolism and symbolic reason, that artist wants to connect with you on. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be
Appeal to
careful.
a certain character,
Yeah,
you appeal to a certain energy, you appeal to a certain
it's
realm.
going to attract you. That's probably laws of attraction. So you got to keep that and pay attention to that. Have common sense people and know that. You know what I'm saying? The certain music comes up around you, certain things are pushed, of course, on the algorithm because, of course, they want you to consume it. You know what I mean? Get the money off, but also understand that there's a bigger picture behind all of the messages and things that they got in their music, in their videos, in their clothing, and what they're part of their investment. You know what I'm saying? As you see, like, well, R. Kelly and his issues and things like that, there's always something underlying that constitutes to how they were having it and how they were going on about their music. You see what I mean? So just had common sense. Pay attention to that, you know what I'm saying, in your music and in the symbolic meaning behind that. Yeah, Eric, what's up, man? You gonna hit him with some philosophy?
Let's do this. Philosophy 101. Slow me up. All right.
It's Philosophy 101 with Illy Baby.
So, the thing with Philosophy 101 today, we're gonna look at it like this. We artists, we love music. Music has influenced us, has changed us, has been our comfort, has been our stress reliever, has been that factor to help us understand certain things, to help us get to the next motherfucking evolve stage. I'm gonna look at it like this right now. When it comes to artistry, when it comes to being a consumer, just appreciating the fact that we have an outlet to go to. You understand? Like, just the simple fact that I was writing a song yesterday about personal mental bullshit that I've been dealing with for years. To have the freedom to exemplify and specify to the most, I want to say the most
Goodness and finest detail.
Yeah. But then at the same time, not give so much either.
That's the freedom.
Yeah,
I love that. I fucking love that. That freedom right
yeah,
there. Just to feel like, you know what, I said a lot without saying so much, but those who know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about because I have those keywords that stand out. And the simple fact that we've all been there at some point in time where we've created a song and we've had someone say, yo, you know what? Because you're not knowing it, you just doing what the fuck you doing, you being you. But someone comes and says, yo, because of your tragedy, because of your chaos or whatever the fuck you going through, whatever dumb things is in your head, nigga, it woke me the fuck up. And it made me want to change my shit. It made me want to look at things from a different scope, from a different perspective. And like that's it's a beautiful fucking thing when we're able to find a connection through tragedy, find a connection through chaos. Like, those blurred lines are very significant, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna be too fucking deep, but nigga, like, it's a beautiful fucking thing. And so, like, these conversations alone, like today, just to speak and to talk with y'all niggas in the politic, and actually the politic and be right in front of y'all motherfuckers while we doing this and not do this on a video, I like that feeling. I like the fact that, nigga, we are truly blessed to just be in a place of appreciating and like finding our niche. So my thing with y'all people right now is, man, like, look, whatever the fuck your dream is, whatever the fuck you think you need to do for yourself, nigga, apply it. And then Super Saiyan times 5 with that shit and go all the way out full throttle. Because, nigga, your story is your story. And it's only up to you to make that shit motherfucking beautiful. And the thing is, what's real is gonna remain. Because real always will.
Always.
Real is always gonna motherfucking remain. And real recognize real. Regardless of how old that cliche is, it's true. Real will recognize real. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. Regardless if a person is with, if your people's with it, or if they not with it. And if they really not with it, motherfucker, they ain't your people.
No, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all niggas for riding with me this long with my bullshit. I want to say that shit publicly. I really mean that.
No, for sure, bro. We all got our own thing.
A tough task.
Like, I appreciate that shit. Like
you
straight up,
even
man.
acknowledge it that you got the bullshit.
No.
Makes riding with you worth it.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't. A lot of people can't acknowledge. A lot of people can't. They ain't even bring it to the
I got some
forefront.
bullshit. The way you accept your You know, it has influenced me. I be watching bro call himself Bubble Boy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows this son that he got.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So if we can turn that, turn it into here, no longer making something that infects us.
Yeah.
That affects.
Yeah, dope, man.
It's a beautiful motherfucking thing, man.
Yeah,
so,
man. Appreciate Big Body Benz popping up with us, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting this opportunity, so. Nah, that's a fact.
That's real shit, man.
Man, tell them where to find. Yeah, man. Give them all your address.
Benz5813.com is the website, or Big Benz 5813 on all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a giveaway coming out on the 4th too. I don't know if this is gonna drop before then, but we got a giveaway coming out on the 4th. We're gonna do something else. Every time I drop something, I'm trying to give something back to the people.
Got you.
Feel more a part of what's going on. So, for respecting the hiatus more than anything, like I don't owe y'all shit. I respect y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro.
I respect y'all. I respect y'all riding with me throughout the hiatus while I deal with my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we gassed up, man. We gassed up. I appreciate y'all, man. But that's where y'all can find me.
Yeah. That's all right, man. So we about here at the King's Council, man.
Nigga, I love this fucking episode, dog. I like this one. I like this real talk, man. I like being around y'all niggas. This is good, man. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is this is
It's here.
it's here, and it's very important, y'all. Y'all seen where we come from. Y'all seen what we've been doing, nigga, and like just to see this evolution and see how far we've gotten, man. Like we thank y'all for the ride, dog. Like we truly do, man.
Yeah.
So,
It's been fun. It's been like that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely been an adventure, man. From the plant of a little seed, man. It's crazy,
man.
big.
Niggas wasn't playing.
Nah,
I got
not at all. Not at all, man.
Anybody that takes the thought of something that they want to pursue it through the ups and downs, man. With the world being so fixated on convenience, to do something that isn't convenient and still do it just shows the testament to what you.
Facts.
So y'all niggas need to stop fucking with us.
Yeah. Nah, for
We
sure,
outside,
man.
nigga.
We outside, but make sure if you inside, you tune in to the kingscouncil.com. You hear me?
We outside, nigga. Let's go.
Because I know a lot of them don't like coming outside, so.
Fucked up now, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially with his ass. You know what I mean?
Let's
So
go.
you gotta
Let's do
watch
this.
for niggas like that. Nah, fuck with you. Right. But nah, definitely tune into the kingscouncil.com, the King's Council on the YouTube, the Young Kings Council, man, on the Instagram, you know what I'm saying, at Council Kings on Twitter. Yeah, the King's Council on Facebook too, y'all. So man, holla at us, man. Get tuned in exclusively though at thekingscouncil.com so we can make sure y'all stay up to date with them exclusive drops like Dummies and Does, Boulevard, Scope, Perspectives and Perceptions. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of things coming, yeah. We got a lot of things coming, man. It only goes up from here, dog.
Moving on up like Judge and Weezy, baby. Yes.
Yes, sir. So for sure. To the next one, man. Your boy Deuce the Deuce. Signing out.
Boulevard motherfucking P. I want y'all to listen to one motherfucking thing since we all speaking this shit here. Believe. Well, first of all, dream, believe, achieve. Can the church say amen?
Amen.
All right, fuck out of here, man. It's the council, you bastards. Be out.
Gone. Holla at you.